Namaste, beautiful friends. This is Elle with Sacred Union Spiritual Wellness, and today I just want to give you my suggestions on how to prepare for the solar eclipse happening on April 8th, 2024. Now, the reason that I want to do this video is because there is so much fear-based energy being catapulted into the collective because of this eclipse. And I really want to caution you strongly about feeding into that. Fear-based energy is so low vibration, and I feel very strongly, and my guides are really pushing me to communicate that we need to be in high vibration at the time of this eclipse. And if you've been on my channel, even over the last couple of months, there have been some really salient themes that have been coming through the readings, both in the personal readings and in my videos that I post on my YouTube channel. One of them is that the Divine Feminine has done a tremendous amount of her healing work. And she is the light bearer. And she is really going to take the lead now in the collective. And as we anchor the light into the 5D, the Divine Feminine is going to be there to plant the garden. And when you plant, you want to be in high frequency. And normally you would plant during the new moon. Well, this new moon happens to be a solar eclipse. So whatever you plant, whatever your intentions are during this solar eclipse new moon are going to be so intensified. And so that it's going to expand quicker. You don't want to plant from lower vibration of fear, concern, wariness, survival mode. And that's why I'm going to get to one of those points later. I feel like the Divine Masculine is going to be catapulted into an energy of cleaning up the debris that has just happened. But speaking of cleaning up, Mercury retrograde as of April 1st. So we have a week of Mercury retrograde, and I think this is a gift. Now, I know everybody disagrees that Mercury retrograde is always a problematic time with transportation, communication, and technology, but it's a gift this time. Because during Mercury retrograde, we get to review, reflect, and resolve anything that is holding our vibration in a lower state. This could be past interactions. This could be things that we need to release. So my suggestion is to get into a quiet space. And I'm going to give us some talking points here to consider. But I'd like you to get into a quiet space. Take your little book, journal, and I want you to just get into like a meditative space. You don't have to, close your eyes or anything. But I would light a candle, get your hydration beverage, put on some meditation music, and I want you to just be present in the moment. Maybe do some breath work to get you into that calm state. And I want you to be open. And I want you to allow thoughts to come through of things that might be causing any kind of lower vibration frequency or friction in your energetic field. The reason I say this is I believe that there is going to be, after this eclipse, a frequency war. And I know other readers and other astrologists, and it's not to fearmonger. I'm not going to say frequency, you need to be involved in some sort of battle or conflict. But I do believe we are going to be bombarded with lower frequency experiences if we are open to them. And the best way to not be open to those lower vibration frequency attacks is to resolve them and clear them before this eclipse. And that's just my personal belief. So make a list. Just go through a mental inventory of your life comprehensively. Start with your circle of family and friends. Is there anything there that is just causing a little friction? Is there something that was said, or an apology that needs to be made, or a clarification? Something that we can revisit in order to clean up that residual energy. Look at your areas of your life, your work, your relationships, your volunteering, the church you attend, if you attend church. I'm gonna give you a list on how to clean some of the things that I think you could do to clean some of this up. But I just want you to be open and start generating a list, a tangible list. Because when you look at that list, you're going to get that tickle. And that tickle is going to be, that's cleared, or there's something residual there. I need to really investigate, dig deeper, find out what it is, and clear it before the eclipse. Okay, so a couple other things I want to just mention. The frequency war, I think, is going to be really directed at people in lower frequency. I think if you have gotten to a point of higher frequency, you are going to get so much more communication from your guides, from your angels. You are not going to be interacting with that frequency war, because it's going to be in certain ways. And you're going to have cleared that already. You're not going to feel the need to engage. So you're going to get so much support, because when you're at higher frequency, you are able to hear messages from your guides, your angels, your ancestors, so much more clearly. I feel like the moon passing in front of the sun, and the moon being divine feminine energy, intuition, and then the sun being divine masculine energy and to be action, overt. I feel like with the feminine moving in front of the sun on this eclipse, it is the feminine taking the lead now. The feminine energy taking the lead in the anchoring of light. I feel like divine feminine energies have been in survival mode for the past 4 years. And I feel like now she's ready to move forward and to create this garden. And when I say garden, sorry, that to me is the 5D garden, the new earth. We have on April 20th, Jupiter and Uranus, I believe, becoming in conjunction in Taurus. And that is significant because Jupiter is about expansion. And Uranus is kind of like suddenly. I feel like after the 20th, once the residual intensity, the initial intensity from the eclipse starts to kind of recede. I want to say evaporate, but it's not going to evaporate. But it's going to become less intense. That's when things are going to accelerate. And what I've seen in the readings, consistently across the board, is that the divine feminine is going to start her passion, her purpose, her project, what she was meant to do. She's being called to create. So in order to do that, we have to come out of survival mode, and we have to come out of survival mode by eradicating any kind of fear-based energy. And every time you have friction in your soul self from some of these things that I'm going to list, it instigates a little bit of fear. It propagates a little bit of fear. And that fear, if not dealt with immediately, nipped it in the bud, so to speak, grows into thorns. So I feel like the Divine Feminine, this solar eclipse is so directed at the Divine Feminine. If you're a twin flame, I really think it's going to be intensified for you. But the messages that I'm getting and that I've seen in the readings are the Divine Feminine is going to start something new. It's going to be a new life, a new chapter, a new project, a new passion, a new purpose. But it is going to accelerate very quickly. And it's going to provide abundance. But it's going to raise the frequency in the Divine Feminine to an extraordinary level. And that's just going to open up to more information from your higher self, your guides, your angels. And it's just going to be like there's such a thin veil. But we have to prepare for that. All right, so those are the things that I wanted to kind of preface with. Kind of the caveats to why I think these 7 things are important. All right, the first thing, we need to release old energies. Just release old energies. So as you're going through your list, if you have, let's say you had a business associate and things didn't end necessarily on good terms. I'm just giving an example. This is any relationship. Old exes, family members, whatever. If you can, have a conversation. Could be just a quick note, even if you just want to send it in the mail. I'm sorry things have turned out the way they were. Sorry for my part of it. I ask for your forgiveness. I am grateful for the energy that we shared. And, I wish you truly the best. Good energy to you. You may need to just do that within yourself as an intention, but we need to resolve it, because that lingering energy is enough of just a little tickle to create that thorn. It's going to grow after this eclipse. It's like the eclipse is fertilizer, and whatever is present in your energy is going to be expanded on. So we don't want anything that's thorny or creates any kind of friction. Items. If it's broken and you need to get it fixed, get it fixed. If it's something no longer usable, and literally be in tune with yourself. Touch an item. Just touch it. And I know there's this Japanese and, I don't want to, just read the vibe. Just touch it. If it doesn't respond, if your visceral reaction is not positive, if it is, ooh, or if you just have that energy that is not uplifting, it needs to go. Because every time you see that, you're interacting energetically with it. You're observing it. And when you feel that little thorn, that little prick, sorry, not that kind of word, but a prick of that thorn, we don't want that anymore. Because if you're surrounded by items that do that to you, you cannot maintain a high frequency. You are going to struggle all the time to overcome those daily little interactions that are just going to keep sticking you, poking you, prodding you, pricking your spiritual skin. So, you can just open a drawer, and if it doesn't feel good, just remove it. Put it into a box. Close the box. And then decide what to do with it. You can donate it, you can sell it, you can, if you need to dispose of it, recycle it, whatever. But it needs to leave your energetic space. If you look at something that's broken, it does not uplift your energy. It diminishes your energy. And we cannot continually fight to overcome those little diminished friction items in our environment. Okay, so this is just something that doesn't jive with your vibe anymore. If you're just like, I liked it at one point, but I don't know that I like it anymore. You know what? It doesn't need to stay in your energetic space. It just doesn't. Detach. If you feel resistance, if you feel like there's a little resistance with something, and part of that resistance is detaching and releasing. You may feel like it's so hard for me to detach from this because there's a familial obligation that I need to keep this, or, it's attached to a memory. Take a picture of it. That way you don't have to see it every day. It's not taking up energetic space. Anything that's ego-based, resolve. If you've had any kind of ego-based interaction where you kind of stepped out into your ego and maybe said something or did something and then you regretted it later, try to make amends. If you cannot make amends, then say, I forgive myself. I forgive the situation. I forgive others. I'm grateful for the opportunity to have seen this part of myself and to be able to address it. I love myself. I love the situation, and I love the other person because of the opportunity it has provided me. And I am grateful to be able to have the opportunity to now forgive, detach, and release. That might be all you need. If you need to write it down and do it in a burning bowl ceremony, if you need to do a ritual in order to do that, maybe write everything down, do a burning bowl ceremony, and then go cleanse in a saltwater bath. Whatever you need to do to feel physically, spiritually, emotionally, psychologically, that release. Okay, so we've been talking about, and I'm going to segue into cleaning up your environment. Now, I just talked about, maybe some items, but just kind of clear up your energetic spaces. Every space that you exist in is an energetic exchange. If there's a lot of clutter, it is diminishing to your energy. If the space doesn't feel positive and uplifting, it diminishes your energy. You cannot continue to fight that frequency. It's like a little frequency war. You're constantly interacting and trying to uplift your frequency while you've got things that are diminishing your frequency in your environment. Clean it up. So you can go through one room a day between now and the solar eclipse. Just go through and look at things. Does this need to be tidied up? Can I declutter? Make some space on your surfaces. Maybe do a quick cleaning, vacuum, dust, put some fresh flowers to uplift the space. Plants are very uplifting, but clean, organized, decluttered are psychologically, emotionally, spiritually, and physically uplifting. Make sure you have white light bulbs in your lamps to uplift the energy. But your space interacts with your aura every moment that you're in it. So this is your home, particularly your bedroom, because that is a soul sanctuary space. That is where you need to be at rest. So that needs to be a space where you can just totally energetically interact and feel so positive, because you want to be able to just relax. You don't want the spiritual stabbings that you are confronted with all of this negative energy from the things that don't fit in your life anymore. Okay, car, office, garage, attic. Doesn't have to be a deep clean. Just, you can do a 15-minute purge. You can put a limit. I'm going to purge 10 things from this room. Whatever works for you. If you need some suggestions, you know I'm a professional organizer. Check me out at the Organizer Advisor. I have a playlist. But if you have the urge to purge, it is time to clean up so that you're not spiritually stabbed by these lower vibration energies. That is your own personal frequency war. Because the more you are fighting to overcome, the less energy you have to raise your frequency without that battle. Okay. You want to create high frequency spaces. Spaces that make you feel in high frequency. Music, sound. You can hear my birds. I'm an auditory processor. If my environment doesn't have sound, it's dead to me. And I can't get comfortable. So I have music going most of the time. I have birds. I have water fountains. I have animals that, I interact with. The smells of your house. Make sure that your spaces, your car, you spend a lot of time commuting. Your car needs to be a high frequency space. It needs to smell good. It needs to look good. It needs to be organized. It needs to be clean. And it needs to be clutter free. Next, relationships. Oh, we already talked a little bit about that, but just go back and review some of your interactions. Do you have anything lingering? You know it's there because it's going to keep kind of pricking at your little spiritual frequency, and every time you think about it, it just kind of pulls you down. See if you can clean that up. If nothing else, just go through your mantra, make amends if possible, forgive yourself, the situation, and the other. Offer gratitude for the experience and the lesson, and then release. Do a ceremony. I suggest a burning bowl ceremony. Write down all the people you've had these interactions with that you just need to let go of. Do your burning bowl ceremony. I blow the ashes. I do this at night. I blow the ashes into the universe. I turn that over. I release myself from it, and then I take a saltwater bath for the cleansing. However you do it, you may take a shower, whatever ritual works for you. Your physical being, your physical body. Now, your frequency is affected by the foods you eat, what you ingest into your body. It's not just food. If you're smoking, that's low frequency. If you drink a lot of alcohol, that's low frequency. If you eat a lot of processed food, that's low frequency. Think light. Whatever foods use light to grow are foods you want to focus on for the next week. So this is, vegetables and fruits. You could have, I'm not a vegetarian and I'm not vegan. So if you're, somebody who consumes meat, you want to think of grass-fed meat. You want to think of free-range chicken, free-range eggs, because they have eaten those phytochemicals. That's the light. That means you're going to ingest more light energy. So clean up the frequency. You may want to do a little bit of a detox, maybe a 3-day detox, making sure that you stay hydrated. Go through kind of like a mental assessment, just like we talked about with your list. You may want to go through a mental assessment about your body. Is there something you're concerned about? Like, I need to exercise more. I've lost my focus on working out. I need to be more flexible. So maybe incorporate some yoga. But you kind of want to listen to your body. What does your body need? Do you need more rest right now? Do you need to hydrate? Are there vitamins and supplements? Check with your healthcare provider. But just listen to your body. And every time you do something in the form of self-care, it's healthcare. And every time you practice self-care as healthcare, you are uplifting your frequency. Conditioning your hair, mani-pedi, facial, skincare, dental whitening. Just focus on consciously making choices that are going to uplift your physical well-being. Self-care as healthcare. I just did a whole month of that on my organization channel, The Organizer Advisor. It's called the Pick 3. Self-care as healthcare. Check it out. and employ some of those strategies as you prepare for the energies of this eclipse. Remove lower frequency consumptions. Now, we've already talked about food, but now let's talk about some other things. Social media. Now, I'm going to say this, and it's going to be controversial. I like Twitter. I love Twitter. I love going on Twitter, but recently it has become kind of a dark energy space for me. There's a lot of anger on Twitter. Nothing against Elon. I'm so grateful for a platform, but there's some very angry and hateful people on Twitter. So if you feel that visceral response, and it's not just Twitter, sorry Elon, it's not just Twitter. There's some really fear-provoking people on YouTube as well, as I'm sure there is on Telegraph or Rumble or whatever. Just be conscious consumers of energy. So anything you're interacting with right now is energy. And what you want is uplifting energy, high frequency energy. So if every time you leave your social media site and you're like, damn, I don't feel so happy now. It's that little, soul stabbing stuff that makes you just like, man, I'm not happier now than when I was before I went on. Then it means you need to step away. It means that you're not in alignment with that. It's not elevating your frequency. Talk about whatever you consume in movies. If you're watching horrors and violence and war movies and you're seeing horrific things, it's diminishing your frequency. Any kind of news. Let's be honest. At this point in time, I don't see anything uplifting in the news. In fact, all I see is hate. It's just hate. And hate is so low vibration. I don't even want to interact with hate. I don't. So, no news. No news for me. All right. Prepare and practice openness. Because as you start to reduce the amount of frequency diminishers, those soul-stabbing, shitstorm things, you're going to start to elevate your frequency, and you're going to be receiving downloads. You're going to be receiving messages, and you're going to see a lot of synchronicities. It's going to be off the charts. Be open. Be open to the messages. And I'm getting a confirmation right now in the bottom of my spine, the tingling all over now. You are going to receive so much. Be open. Be open to your guides. Just be open. Because this is going to accelerate. You may get that eureka. This is my passion, my purpose, my mission. This is what I came here to do. That may occur after this eclipse. You may get that inspiration. You're not going to really probably instigate the practice or strategies to implement that until after the 20th of April. But this is the incubation period. Be open. But you got to practice being open, because we've led a life in survival mode, which is resistance. Particularly divine feminine energy. It's resistance. We need to get out of resistance into creative energy. That's my point number 7. Get out of survival mode. Be open into creative energy. Be open to ideas. Be open to those random thoughts. Be open to something that flashes right before your eyes and it's like, oh, that's it. Because it's coming. But these are the steps that I suggest that you take in order to prepare for that. Because the higher frequency we are at the time of this eclipse, the more positive this eclipse energy is going to be for you. That's all I have to say, my friends. I hope this has been of some sort of value to you. Please, if it has been, and if you've stuck with me this long, I'm so grateful. Please leave me the comment. I endured to the end. But also subscribe to my channel. Hit the notification bell. I want to do more talks like this, and I'm hoping once we get to 1,000 subscribers, then we can start doing some lives so we can do interactions and we can just have a conversation. But until then, I really hope that something I said today was of value to you and it benefits you in some way, because I think it's coming. I think something big is coming, and I think it's positive for those people in the higher frequencies. Blessings to you. I can't wait to see you next time. Until then. Namaste.